Live from Minute Maid Park in Houston, Texas, Fox Sports Houston brings you Houston Astros baseball. Today in the finale of this homestand, the Astros meet the first-place Milwaukee Brewers. Good afternoon, everybody. Bill Brown and Jim Deshaies. The Astros with a win can wind up this homestand 3-3, and that would make it back-to-back 3-3 homestands, which would be progress, JD.
Yeah, facing a red-hot Milwaukee Brewer club that has never swept a series here in Houston, looking to do it for the very first time this afternoon, and they're sending a very talented right-hander to the mound in Zach Greinke. Greinke missed the early part of the year because of an injury sustained in spring training playing basketball, but he's bounced back and pitched very well, especially here in the second half. 2-1 with a .140 ERA since the All-Star break. That's the third best ERA in the National League since the break. His strikeout rate per 9 innings, the best in all of Major League Baseball among pitchers with at least 100 innings pitched. That's what the hitters are up against. Brewers are up against Bud Norris this afternoon, and that's good news for the Astros. He's been very good against Milwaukee in his career. He's got that power slider, good heater. He's been good against Fielder, not so good against Braun. Those are the two matchups we always focus on with Milwaukee. We see if Bud's up to the task here this afternoon.
It's Game 3 of this series, so coming up next, the fans hope that the Astros pitching with Bud Norris and whoever else might come in can quell these Milwaukee bats. They've had 8 straight games with 10 hits or more. We'll find out if they can in just a moment.
Is brought to you by the Progressive Insurance Group. For money-saving car insurance quote, call 1-800-PROGRESSIVE today. You see inside of Union Station, all the people are now out in the ballpark because it's filling up for today's game between the Brewers and the Astros. Bud Norris just now throwing his first warm-up toss. He had to stand out there and wait while the umpires were still having their conference. Finally, they got out of the way. And we'll get this baseball game underway, but probably a tick or two past the scheduled 1:05 start time. In the meantime, the guys who are going to call the game are up in the booth. Bill Brown and Jim Deshaies.
Thank you, Greg. And the day started with a slice of pizza throwing out the first pitch, so that's the way we got things underway. It should get even better. And here is the starting lineup. It's Nyjer Morgan in center field, Felipe Lopez at second base, Ryan Braun in left, Prince Fielder at first, Mark Kotze in right, Unieski Betancourt the shortstop. Craig Counsell is at third base with Jonathan Lucroy the catcher for Zach Greinke.
Now here's pizza. Don't see this every day at the ballpark.
No, you do not.
Slice of pie, throwing a little sinker up there. Probably a little grease on that thing. And Bud Norris against the Brewers has been awfully good, hasn't he? 5 starts, 3-0 with a 2.32 ERA. He's allowed more than 2 runs in only 1 of those 5 starts. The other 4 2 runs or less, including the 7 2/3 of 3-hit shutout baseball here on the 1st of May against the Brewers, a ball game in which he struck out 11. So a dominant performance that day, and looking to do something similar here this afternoon.
But Nyjer Morgan to lead it off, and he looks at strike one. 323 for Morgan, 3 homers. He's driven in 27. And he made the throw to end the game from the right field line to third base last night. He takes that one. It's a 0-2 count for the leadoff man. He's walked 5 times and struck out on 46 occasions. He's on an 8-game hitting streak, hitting .343 currently. And flicks that one foul.
Defensive swing there. Here's this game we talked about back in May against Milwaukee when he struck out 11. He got Weeks with a good slider there. A little different look today for Ron Renick as he's tried to put as many left-handed bats in his lineup as possible. And you see those feeble swings by the righties at the slider, and you can understand why.
Hit by the pitch. And Bud Norris, I think, might have thought that he leaned into that one. Well, that's the way the game starts. He gets Morgan 0-2 and then hits him.
And run that slider in. And just clips that front elbow pad. You're less willing to leave it. Whether you leave it out there or not, you're much more willing to leave it there if you're padded up.
Yeah. Now he's a threat to run. He measures his lead, and it's Felipe Lopez batting. 231 with 2 runs batted in.
It's almost as a pitcher, you have to take inventory as to whether the guy's wearing pads or not. Might not want to come in there.
Yeah. Diving back in ahead of that throw to Carlos Lee.
Nice, and that's quick. Very animated Nyjer Morgan. When we play the Brewers, we should just have a Nyjer cam and just stay on this guy the whole game because it would be entertaining.
Lopez showing bunt, takes that pitch for a ball. The Brewers are really in high gear with their offensive attack with the 8 straight games with 10 hits or more. An outstanding home team, but on the road they're 23-35 this season. As a team, they've hit .333 in the last 8 games while averaging 6.6 runs.
There's Nyjer Cam.
There he is. Now 2-0 to Lopez. Another throw goes over. The Brewers are 8-3 against the Astros this season. They have an off day tomorrow, and then they'll pick up with the series in St. Louis Tuesday night. They're currently 3 games ahead of second place St. Louis. Bunted up the first base line, fielded by Carlos Lee, and it's a sacrifice, 3 unassisted. Morgan to second for Ryan Braun.
Interesting play here by the Brewers bunting this early in the game. Astros defensively, Martinez, Bourgeois, Shuck, Paredes, Barmes, Altuve, Lee, Carlos Corporon back behind the plate today. A lot of the youngsters in the starting lineup this afternoon.
Braun is on a 10-game hitting streak, and he's had a big series, going 5 for 9 with a double, 4 runs scored. Braun with that .330 batting average is second in the National League right now to Jose Reyes of the Mets. He's only 7 points behind Reyes. At one point, Reyes was 20-some odd points ahead of his nearest pursuer. Ball 1 to Braun.
Braun 5 out of 14 with a couple of home runs off Bud in his career.
Braun's doing it all this year. He's 3rd in the league in total bases. Prince Fielder behind him, and they have really been a 1-2 combo this year against the Astros. Braun 378, 3 homers, 9 runs batted in. Fielder 444, 4 homers, 12 runs batted in. Braun chops one foul. 1-1 to Ryan.
In Milwaukee, they have such fond memories of that the tandem of Molitor and Yount. Should Prince Fielder, who's going to be a free agent at the end of the year, decide to stay in Milwaukee, if it all works out, these guys will be right up there in Brewer lore at the end of their careers with the Hall of Famers, both trending as Hall of Famers right now, Braun and Fielder.
Braun swings through that one. It's 1-2 for Bud Norris. Braun was named to his 4th straight All-Star team this year. He set a record for votes in the National League. Very popular player, very productive player. 27 years old. And that's foul back. He missed some time with a leg injury, but he's been running effectively since he came back. He stole his 20th base in this series. And he's a member of the 2020 club already this season. That's the 2nd time in his career he's done that. Braun homered off Norris in each of Bud's 2 starts against Milwaukee last year. That's fouled off the screen. But you talked about that 11 strikeout game. That was magnificent when Bud shut out the Brewers here back on May 1st, 5-0 earlier this season, holding them to 3 hits. Brewers have won 10 of their last 11. And they are 15-7 since the All-Star break. They've put some space between themselves, Pittsburgh and Cincinnati. Morgan edging off second. That's popped up. And the shortstop Barmas is out in shallow left center field with Martinez behind him. He has it. 2 outs. That's one sigh of relief on the Astros bench. Now Prince Fielder will bat.
As soon as that ball was popped up, Bud Norris made his way in towards home plate with a message for Carlos Corporon, and maybe something along the lines of, hey, we're not going to give in to this guy. I'm not sure. I'm just guessing. Most likely it was a conversation as to how they're going to approach or tiptoe around Fielder. Now, Bud's been good against Fielder. The big guy just 2 out of 13 against him.
Nonetheless, it would make sense not to give him anything good to hit, and now they'll talk again. Important to be on the same page here. Fielder ripped a 3-run homer last night in the 1st inning to give Milwaukee that early lead against Brett Myers, and he later added 2 more hits, walked twice, on base all 5 times, driving in 4 in the game. Norris, though, has neutralized him. Here's strike 1.
Pretty aggressive right there with that first fastball. Fielder, a 307 career hitter in this ballpark. 12 home runs in 42 games at Minute Maid Park.
Milwaukee's 5th in runs scored in the National League, 2nd in long balls. No balls, 2 strikes.
Last night he got a cut fastball moving in on his hands, but he got the hands pulled in and the head out in front. Banged it off the foul pole. Hit the cow right on the snout. If cows have snouts, I guess it's a nose.
Don't want to enrage a cow. Kotze's on deck. It's 1-2 to Fielder. Fielder with a very good balance of walks to strikeouts this year. He's actually walked twice more than he has struck out. Has a .416 on base average. Being behind in the count, something he can deal with. Hits this one to right field, headed for the corner, and that's got distance. Fielder with a 2-run homer. And behind 1 and 2 in the count, he kept that ball fair to make it 2-0 Brewers on home run number 26.
Very similar to the pitch we just showed you on the ball he hit off Myers in the first inning of last night's ball game. This time not a 3-run shot, a 2-run homer. But again, trying to throw a slider or a cut fastball hard in on him. And he's just not going to let you in there.
Same pitch Brett Myers threw on the home run. Now Mark Kotsay bats. Kotsay, the right fielder, at 242, has 2 homers. He's driven in 20. Fouls that one for strike 1. Early lead for Zach Greinke, has been pitching very well. This Milwaukee club putting a lot of things together at a very good time for Ron Renicky.
And that's the thing about Prince Fielder. He's always been one of those. There's a lot of left-handed sluggers that have that hole up and in. They're good low ball hitters, but Prince has always been able to handle that ball up pretty well. It's not to say you can't jam him from time to time, but he's a little bit different than most left-handed sluggers over the years, if you think of as being very good low ball hitters, but susceptible up.
Now it's 3-1 as Fielder has made it the 2-0 early lead. 85 runs batted in for Prince. Foul back. Bud Norris has been dealing with a blister problem. Brad Mills was talking about that today. He had a chat with Bud yesterday. Bud feels that that blister is really improving and will not be a problem. And he says it's easier for him when he pitches in this ballpark with air conditioning. More of a difficult situation when he's on the road with heat and humidity. But he's been putting his right hand in buckets of rice. That's the workout that Steve Carlton and others used to do. And the rice toughens up the skin on the blister on the finger. Tap to shortstop, backhanded here. Barmas throwing and out at first. Paredes crossed in front of him, but Barmas was still able to get that ball to Carlos Lee in time for out number 3, 2-0 Milwaukee.
Bat against right-hander Zach Greinke. J.B. Shuck's going to get a start today. Let's take a look at the Astros lineup to face this talented right-hander. Shuck, Altuve, Bourgeois, Lee Martinez, Paredes, Barmas, Corcoran, and Bud Norris. They come to bat here in the bottom of the first, trailing 2-0. Greinke 9-4 with a 4.41 ERA.
First pitch, strike 1 to J.B. Shuck, who's 2 for 3 as a major leaguer. Well, he got that debut out of the way, a base hit, a steal. First time up in the big leagues. Now a broken bat roller going to fielder. Tossing to Greinke, 1 out.
Greinke 9-4, 441. He's made 17 starts. Started the year on the disabled list. And he's worked 100 innings, 97 hits, good control. He's only walked 22 while striking out 128. He's allowed 14 home runs and a 247 batting average. Lately, he's been very, very good defensively. He has help from Braun, Morgan, and Kotze out in the outfield. Infield features Counsell and Betancourt, third short. Lopez fielder, second and first. Lucroy behind the dish.
Altuve bunting. Greinke makes a running play on it. Snagged that one in the air to the backhand side for out number 2.
Brewers then 5 men to the plate, scored a couple of runs, and Greinke responds by getting 2 outs on 3 pitches here in the bottom half of the first. Very good athlete is Zach Greinke.
Maybe too good. That basketball injury cost him a few weeks. Jason Bourgeois, the batter. Looking at strike 1. 326 for Jason. 1 homer. He's driven in 13.
Adrian Johnson, the home plate umpire today. Looks like he's going to call the high strike.
That one goes foul. Adrian's from Houston. No balls, 2 strikes. As they get the early souvenir. Final game of the homestand. The Astros were 3-3 on their last homestand. They've not had a winning homestand this season. Fouled away, and it's balls, 2 strikes still.
First fastball to Jason was clocked at 89. That one 93, and that's Greinke capable of getting it up there around 95 miles an hour.
And he gets a foul tip strikeout to end the first inning in 1-2-3 fashion. 2-0 Brewers.
All Summer, presented by Minute Maid, is available for every home game this summer. For every full-price adult ticket you purchase in the outfield or view deck sections, you can get up to 2 free tickets for kids 14 and under. Visit Astros.com for tickets. Bill?
Thanks, Patty. Betancourt smacks a line drive, headed for the left field corner. Unieski turning first and heading into second with a lead-off second inning double. His 19th of the year.
My goodness. Astros have not had an answer for Unieski here. He was 4 for 5 in yesterday's ball game. Had a knock in the opening game of the series. He's a very aggressive hitter. Doesn't take many pitches. Sees something he likes, he's going to take a whack at it.
6 for 10 in the series now, and he's aboard for Craig Counsell. The Astros look for a bunt from Counsell. 151, 4 runs batted in. Craig just snapped an 0 for 45. And he lines this one, caught by Altuve. Betancourt back, 1 out. Well, Counsell probably thought once he ended that 0 for 45 he was going to have some luck coming his way. Didn't get much there.
Trying to hit, he was effective in that he was able to pull the ball, but hit it on a line, couldn't get it over Altuve, and didn't hit it on the ground where Betancourt was able to advance. But his thinking was good. Yeah. Just a little bad luck. Probably figured I got to be able to hit it over his head. He's only 5'5" at whatever he is.
Jonathan Lucroy, 287 with 8 homers, 47 runs batted in. He has really hit well against the Astros this season. 393. Strike from Bud Norris to Lucroy. The number 8 hitter at 287. A lot of managers would take that. He's driven in 47 with those great numbers against Houston pitching. Lucroy 3 for 7 with a homer this weekend. Missed that one at it's 0-2. He went deep in the 9th inning last night in Milwaukee's 7-5 win. The Brewers won 8-1 Friday night. Brewers have scored 60 runs in 11 games against Houston while hitting .307 as a team. Chasing the slider, Lucroy strikes out. Number 1 for Norris.
Completely overmatched by the slider was Lucroy. Just did not see it out of Bud's hand at all. Some very feeble swings. Now, don't get lazy here with Greinke. Talked about how good an athlete he is. He can swing the bat a little bit.
.231 for Zach this year. 1 homer, 1 RBI for Greinke. 6 hits and 26 at bats. And the slider works for strike 1 for Bud. Norris's ERA at home is 3.09 with 3 wins and 3 losses at Minute Maid Park this season. Moves him back, and it's a 1-ball 1-strike count. Bud got a no decision Monday against Cincinnati. The Astros won it in the 10th. He went 5, giving up 10 hits, 3 runs. It's in tight again, and it's 2-1 on Greinke. Brewers really established that they were going for it this season with the trade for Zach, coming from Kansas City in a multiplayer deal, along with Betancourt. Parted with 3 young players for him.
3 pretty good prospects going the other way in the deal. They also acquired Sean Markham to fortify their rotation. He's had a heck of a year.
Greinke's 27. Well, it wasn't only for this year, but for succeeding years that Brewers picked him up. Strike call makes it 3-2 to Greinke. He's from Orlando, Florida. Zach was the Gatorade National Baseball Player of the Year in 2002, the year he was drafted in the first round by the Royals, the 8th player drafted. Bounce to shortstop, charged by Barmas. He takes care of the 3rd out with no runs, a hit, and a man stranded. 2-0 Milwaukee in the 2nd. Yankees watching the 2-0 ball game going to the bottom of the second inning with Lee, Martinez, and Paredes trying to get on board for the Astros. And Carlos Lee belted home run number 11 of the season last night, his first time up in the second inning. JD.
Narveson looked like he floated a changeup, middle of the plate up a little bit. Astros actually hit 3 home runs in the ball game last night, but came up on the wrong end of the scoreboard ultimately with good swings by Carlos. And J.D. Martinez hit his second 3-run home run already. And then Clint Barnes chipped in one as well.
4th time this year they've hit 3 or more homers in a game. For Carlos, with 61 runs batted in and a .265 average, he's coming out of a long slump. Greinke delivers, and it's strike one. It's only the second time Greinke has pitched against the Astros. He won a 2-1 game here June 23rd of 2009 for Kansas City, giving up 1 run in 8 innings. He's ahead 0-2 in the count.
Greinke undefeated at home this year. He's 7-0 in Milwaukee, but on the road just 2-4 with an ERA of 5.61. Kind of falls in line with what the club has been doing overall. Just been unbelievably good at home, struggling on the road, but better recently. And you saw us in the open. We mentioned the fact that it's the Brewers' first, or chance anyway, to sweep the series here for the first time ever.
2 balls, 2 strikes.
This is breakdown 7-0 at Miller Park with a very respectable 349. On the road, not so much.
Now 3-2 to lead. Greinke doesn't walk many. Just 22 walks in 101 innings.
He must have 9 pitches.
The way he's shaking.
No, yes, no, yes, but not there. Let's go the other side. No.
There is a walk. Lee aboard with Martinez to follow. Here's the latest home run for J.D. Martinez. His second in the major league.
Again, an off-speed pitch. That one was down. He just went down and got it.
He's put together a 3-game hitting streak, 292 for the season, 2 homers, 8 runs batted in this series. After hitting .338 at Corpus Christi. That's in the dirt. He must have hit the umpire. Lucroy couldn't find it. Stops right there. Ball 1. J.D. Martinez, shortly after arriving in the big leagues, was named Player of the Month in the Texas League.
Mitt and then got LaCroix on the backside, but stayed right underneath. Tough read for a base runner. I think you maybe can get away with it, but you take off and all of a sudden he finds it and you're home.
Now 2-0 to J.D. 3 for 12 in this series. Last night he ripped that 3-run homer in the 3rd, going 1 for 4. It's 2-1 for Greinke. Greinke beat the Cardinals on Monday 6-2, giving up 2 runs in 6 innings. His last 5 starts have all fallen into the quality start category, and in those games he's 2-1 with a 1.71 ERA. Bouncer, Greinke stabs it, throws to the shortstop Betancourt, who takes the low throw, relays it on to Prince Fielder for a nifty 1-6-3 double play.
Greinke pretty impressive defensively. He made the play on the bunt, and now this comebacker will show you this at bat. He misses down for ball 1. And tries a breaking ball, so the hitters count. JD with an aggressive swing on a ball that was down out of the zone, and then one more time back down there. A great play by Greinke. Might have been a double play anyway. He lets it go. The middle infield probably cleans it up.
Jimmy Paredes will try to start a new rally. He was 0 for 3 with a walk last night. Looking at ball 1. 286 for Jimmy. He's driven in a couple. that one away, and it's a 1-ball, 1-strike count to another of those youngsters who was promoted from AA Corpus Christi. He hit safely in his first 3 major league games before the hitless game last night. He was hitting .270 for the Hooks with 10 homers, driving in 41.
Fooled badly by that break. About 66 miles an hour for the curveball there from Greinke. Throws both the curveball and the slider and a straight changeup.
He gets a strikeout on Paredes. Luke Roy throwing to fielder, and it's strikeout number 2. After 2, he's faced the minimum, and Milwaukee leads it 2-0.
Center making cancer history. This was magic. August 7th, 1998. Over 52,000 fans jammed the Astrodome for Randy Johnson's debut at home as he blanked the Phillies 9-0. What a moment that was, and a big, big year for the Astros.
Drive to the right field corner, and that's extra bases for Nyjer Morgan, cruising in with a double to open the 3rd inning. He was hit by a pitch and scored on the 2-run homer by Fielder in the 1st. Now he collects double number 13 of the season. His plus-to-mentals must have been fine.
Yeah, his plus-to-mentals are rocking. That's a low fastball, and he just hammers it into the right field corner. Leadoff double for the Brewers last inning, and they did nothing with it. It's going to be tougher to stop this one with 2-3-4 coming up, and the speedy Nyjer Morgan on second base. Leadoff man has reached in each of the first 3 innings.
Felipe Lopez put down a sac bunt to get Morgan from 1st to 2nd in the 1st inning.
Somewhat questionable play. So if you're going to do it then, you probably ought to be at least considering doing it here.
Well, he was. Taking strike 1. Brewers have one more trip to Houston. They'll be back September 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. Ground ball will get him over. And on through into right center field. That'll score the run to make it 3-0. An RBI single for Lopez, his 3rd run batted in with the Brewers.
That's exactly what you're looking for, as opposed to bunting. Go ahead and swing it, try to hit the ball on the ground to the right side and advance him that way. And if you can squirt it through, you got an RBI and a man on. You don't have to give up the out. He kind of took a funny angle to that ball.
At first it appeared he would be able to stop it at least. Ryan Braun popped a shortstop first time up. Lopez takes his lead. 4 hits and 3 runs for the Brewers. That's ball 1.
The Brewers are on this run of what is it, 8 games now? 10 hits or more?
Yes.
And they're on their way again this afternoon.
That's the longest in the National League. One club in the American League has had 9 straight this year. Now that's putting everything together. Strike makes it even at 1 ball, 1 strike. They're second in the league in slugging percentage. And Corey Hart not in the lineup today. He was hit by a pitch last night. Ron Renicke's club is really looking strong here since the All-Star break. And if they can win a series at St. Louis, that'll be just another indication that this is definitely the team to beat. Ground ball foul. 1-2. Cardinals won a tight one last night in Florida to stay 3 behind Milwaukee.
Just getting underway now. They had a rain delay in Florida. Surprise, surprise.
The Brewers are 6-3 against St. Louis. They lost 2 of 3 on their first trip to St. Louis this year. Tuesday night they'll have Sean Markham up against Edwin Jackson. Foul ball. And Randy Wolf and Giovanni Gallardo also will pitch in that series. Cardinals have not named their starters for Wednesday and Thursday. Main men this series have been devastating. Braun 5 for 10, Fielder 5 for 9, a couple of home runs and 6 driven in for Fielder. Now, not only are these guys sluggers, but they hit for high batting averages. Braun 330, Fielder 300. A lot of doubles. They walk. They're just both all around talents in the batter's box. Runner takes off. Here's the throw from Corcoran. Not in time. Lopez advancing on the pitch in the dirt. Wild pitch for Norris, his second of the year.
Now man in the scoring position for Braun. Lopez set sail after he sees the ball in the dirt. Corcoran's throw a little bit on the shortstop side. And then Barmas reaches across for the tag. Very close, but a good call.
Some close calls on the bases for these umpires last night. And it's a strikeout of Braun.
Changeup. Not in a good spot, but he was out in front.
Strikeout number 2.
Big punch out. Yeah, Brad Mills argued almost for the cycle last night. He argued at home, third and second, and there was a close play late at first. Maybe we'd have our shot at it. Watch where these pitches are. Cut fastball. That's from Myers on the left, and then Norris tries to get in there as well. Prince unloads on both of them.
Prince fouls this one away. There's strike 1. Happy birthday wishes go out to Maxwell True. He's 17 today.
Got to get him a W.
Yeah. This is Cahill's birthday. We're not giving out ages after Maxwell's 17. Put a moratorium on the rest of them. 1 ball, 1 strike. Seven-game road trip starts for the Astros after this one. 4 in Arizona, 3 in L.A. Foul ball makes it 1-2. Jose Reyes has left for the Mets with a stiff left hamstring. He's leading the batting race. And headed for possible free agency. He left the game in the second inning with Atlanta.
I'm guessing we're not going to get a slider in here.
Let's hope not. 2 balls, 2 strikes. It's pretty well established what he can do with that pitch.
Of course, if you're Bud Norris, maybe you're thinking, well, there's no way he's going to be looking in there again.
Well, that is a point, but are you willing to challenge that? Broken bat. Norris has the runner. Lopez hung up. Runs it back to Barmes. Barmes gets it on, and Paredes will get him back. Now 2 guys on second. He's tagged out. So Lopez did his job. He occupied the Astros long enough for Fielder to get to second base on a 1-6-5 play.
Yeah, bad base running initially by Lopez, but the poorly executed rundown by the Astros allows Prince Fielder to basically trade places with Lopez. Good idea by Bud to kind of look at him. He needed to stay on him a little bit longer. He gave up the ball too soon. And that created the longer rundown, and Prince able to make it into second base. He needs to hold it for a little bit longer. Make sure he's got a little bit more steam headed back to the base before he makes that flip. Make the base runner fully commit.
Kotze's the batter. That's ball 1. So if Bud had run further into the baseline, he would have had time to do that.
Yeah, you want to cut the guy off,
right?
And then you want him to get moving hard in one direction. You don't want him kind of stutter stepping and going where he's able to change directions quickly. You want him committing, going hard back to the base before you make that throw. The caveat to all this is a lot of times managers tell their pitcher, just get the ball to the infielders because we're afraid they're going to screw it up big time. That's the other part of that play. Don't want you throwing it into the outfield and everybody being safe.
Well, you know, I was watching him run over the mound. Some guys would have tripped a face plant on that. So maybe it's advice well taken.
One of the all-time great plays was Quintero when he was a Padre. And he was out there in the middle of a rundown, and he was running over across the mound. I think he fell like 3 times in the same play, but just would not quit on it.
3 balls and a strike to Kotze.
Somewhere that video has to be archived. We got to get our hands on that. That was precious.
It was. Plays like that should remain forever to replay. Roy Oswalt is returning for the Phillies against the Giants. The Phillies have won the first 3 in San Francisco.
Welcome back. You're facing Lincecum.
Ripped and off the glove of Lee into right field. Fielder's coming to the plate to score to make it 4-0. Lee couldn't get a grip on it, and Fielder was able to come around from second on a sharply hit ball by Kotze.
That ball really blistered. It'll go as a base hit. Certainly a play that could have been made, but not one that you could argue that it should have been made. This ball really hammered by Kotze. Tough short hop for Carlos. If he corrals it, they get their man, but he did not. And Fielder, because of the rundown, his ability to get to second in that long rundown, turns into a run.
Sure did.
Give an assist to Felipe Lopez.
Kotze gets an RBI single, his 21st run batted in. He's on for Betancourt, who doubled earlier. Betancourt grounds. Paredes is there with the flip to Altuve for the force on Kotze. And the Brewers come up with 2 runs in the 3rd on 3 hits. They leave a man. It's 4-0 Milwaukee.
What they're saying at Hyundai.com.
Final game of the homestand at Minute Maid Park. The Brewers have a leg up, leading 4-0. Zach Greinke on the mound. He has faced only 6 through 2 innings. He walked the leadoff man Lee, but then he raced him on a 1-6-3 double play hit by Martinez. Now Clint Barmas bats in the home 3rd inning. Taking strike 1, he hit his 8th homer last night. 251 with 22 runs batted in for Clint.
This is pretty much the sweet spot for a starting pitcher. 3rd inning, you face the minimum, you got a 4-run lead.
Lead off single for Barmas, first hit for the Astros.
The game is not out of hand to the point where you're worried about losing your concentration or anything like that, but you've got a comfortable enough lead where you feel like you can be aggressive. Makes a good pitch here, but Barmas finds success down at the end of the bat.
Sure did. He went down and lifted the curveball. Now Corcoran comes up. 187, no homers, 5 runs batted in for Carlos with Bud Norris on deck. All the way, there's strike 1. Humberto Quintero had a finger injury last night on a foul ball. Came up under the nail of his index finger on the throwing hand. There was a little blood on that. He had to get treated during the game. Atlanta is leading 5-2, middle of the 5th inning at New York. Strike to Corcoran, and it snowballs 2 strikes. Mike Minor is pitching for the Braves against Dylan G. Jason Hayward hit his 12th home run. Alex Gonzalez number 9, and Constanza hit number 1 for the Braves.
Constanza.
High and foul.
Well, if the Braves get Jason Hayward going, that will certainly help. Freddie Freeman's been tearing it up. Pitching staff is very good. Bourne's been good since going over there. Is McCann back yet?
No. Boscan is catching today. One ball, 2 strikes.
Ugla keeps hitting.
He does.
He had 3 yesterday.
He is 0 for 3 so far today, hitting .218, but he's come a long way from the 170s.
Is the streak still going?
Yes, it is. 26 now? I'll have to check on that. So we'll keep an eye on him throughout the afternoon. It's been a highly unlikely hitting streak from where his batting average was when it began. One of the most unusual in baseball history.
It is one of the more peculiar stories.
That St. Louis, Florida game, you mentioned it earlier, the rain delay. It's now in the bottom of the 2nd inning, no score. Jaime Garcia on the mound for the Redbirds, and he has not been at his best the last few starts. Ugla's a 27-game streak now, JD.
Wow.
Corcoran's down on strikes. That's number 3.
He gets a lot of swings and misses. Both pitchers in this game do. Norris and Greinke, but a lot with his slider. Greinke with the slider and the curveball. Both have plus fastballs as well. Dan Ugla started his hitting streak on July 5th. Coming into play that day, he was hitting $1.73. To be hitting $1.73 in July and go on a 27-game hitting streak is just crazy.
It is. 108 for Bud Norris. He has 4 hits. Bob Fowl goes back into the seats. Javier Vazquez is going for Florida against St. Louis today in that scoreless game in the 2nd. It's Toronto 5, Baltimore 1. They're in the bottom of the 5th at Baltimore. Mark Reynolds hit his 25th home run. San Diego 1, Pittsburgh 0 after 5 at Pittsburgh. Kevin Correa is on the losing end. Bunted back off the screen. No balls, 2 strikes. Pirate Club has really hit the skids.
They're toast, Browning. They're done. They're finished.
They probably are. They've lost 9 in a row. They're 9 games behind Milwaukee and 4 games under 500 now. August is really a key month often in pennant races. Not that it has to be, but it usually works out that way. Bunted back, and that's a strikeout. Number 4.
But just having one of those days so far.
Matt Latos has the shutout going and a 1-hitter through 5 for San Diego against Kevin Correa. Schuck hit a ground ball, and Fielder tossed to the pitcher Greinke covering to get him out in the first inning. Schuck takes a look at strike 1. JB had not played right field this year at Oklahoma City.
An all-star just about every level in the Astros minor league system after an outstanding career at Ohio State. He was also a very good pitcher. He led the team in ERA as a freshman.
0-2.
From Galion, Ohio. Do you know where that is, Brownie? You spent time in Ohio.
I think it's north.
So if he's on the club, he could be your emergency pitcher in a blowout game.
That's a good point. The Astros still talking about who's going to start Wednesday night in Arizona. Jay Happ headed for Oklahoma City, and that spot in the rotation will need to be filled by someone. And Eloy Rodriguez could be that guy. And Brad Mills thinks that he could get 5 or 6 from him. But they're tossing around options right now. He and Ed Wade were talking before the game today. 1-2.
JB in high school hit .576 his senior year.
Wow.
At a 1.12 ERA. That's Bob Gibson.
It really is.
Struck out 134 men in 69 innings.
That's exactly the ERA of Bob Gibson in 68. 112. This one will get the runner to second base as Clint Barmas takes off. He reacted quickly on the pitch in the dirt and moved on the wild pitch. The count going to 2-2.
You know, a base runner, heads-up base runner, is always looking to take advantage of that ball in the dirt, but there are other times you become more aware of the likelihood. You got a strikeout pitcher on the mound with 2 strikes. You know he likes to bury that breaking ball to try to get a swing and a miss. So that's when you really get the antenna up. Look for that ball in the dirt. Be ready to react.
Like he had thought all that through, and he took off. By the way, with the single by Barmas, he's now 4 for 5 against Greinke in his career. It's Tampa Bay 2, Oakland 1. They're in the bottom of the 4th at Tampa Bay. Casey Kotchman hit his 6th homer. Now ball 3 to Schuck. And JB is known for working counts. He's done it here. It's 4-0 Milwaukee. The Brewers have a pair of 2-run innings. 2-run homer by Fielder in the first. Singles by Lopez and Kotze, sending home runs in the 3rd inning. Bill Brown, Jim DeShays, Greg Lucas with you today on a Sunday from Minute Maid Park. Bags are all packed. The hot weather gear has been stowed away for the trip to Arizona. And Schuck draws a walk. Number 2 for Greinke. Bringing up Altuve.
Strikeout pitchers tend to think that way throughout, and that's, I think LaCroix a little frustrated with Greinke there. I think LaCroix wanted Greinke to be a little bit more aggressive with Schuck there in this 4-0 ball game. Now you might get him to chase that breaking ball, but good chance he's going to be able to lay off of it and draw the walk.
I was asking Mike Barnett last night before the game, with Schuck being a more patient type hitter, kind of a short, compact stroke. Does that play well into somebody who may not get a lot of starts and still be able to contribute? He thought there might be something to that. Altuve tried to bunt, and Greinke caught it on the fly.
Well, that does fit the profile of most successful extra guys. You know, pinch hitters, 4th outfielder types. A lot of times they're They're guys that are singles hitters. Don't try to hit the ball out of the ballpark.
Mm-hmm. So he's been right in the mix, whether starting or coming off the bench for a couple of at-bats as he's joined the club here.
Somewhat atypical on this Astros club because the Astros don't have guys that draw many walks at all. A bunch of free swingers.
Yeah.
But JB had an on-base percentage over 400 in the minor leagues. Walked 52 times at AAA.
Jordan Schaefer is out with a finger injury. He came in the Atlanta trade for Michael Bourne, and he probably will be able to play sometime after August 20th. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Cincinnati got a run in the second at Chicago, leading 1-0 now. Drew Stubbs hit his 14th homer. The Reds are in the tank. They're 5 games under 500 now.
Kid's got a bright future. He's thinking outside the box.
There you go.
Future CEO right there.
Fouled away. Still 1-2.
He's falling in love with that breaking ball right now.
Yes, he is. Got a good one.
whereas Shuck was able to take it. Altuve, a much more aggressive hitter, can't lay off.
Greinke signed a 4-year, $38 million deal when he was with Kansas City. So Milwaukee traded for an affordable player. That's way up. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
You get the sense that he doesn't really trust his stuff as much as he probably should.
Yeah.
The way he's attacked hitters in this inning.
This is electric stuff. Stuff that took him to the 09 Cy Young Award. 43 pitches, 22 in the 3rd inning. He was 16-8 with a league best 2.16 ERA in 09. Now he misses again, and it's a full count with 2 outs, and Farmas and Shuck ready to move on the next one. Greinke struck out 242 and 229 innings in the Cy Young season of 09. Bourgeois on deck. Big pitch coming here for Greinke. Kansas City drafted Colt Griffin in the 1st round in 01, and Greinke in the 1st round in 02.
Good swing.
Yeah, it was. Good cut.
Yeah, after all those breaking balls, he comes with a 94-mile-an-hour heater, and Altuve had a good hack at it.
Players like Altuve, not used to playing before crowds this size, although he did play in that Futures game in Phoenix a few weeks ago. In the air and fouled again. Greinke was a high school senior, had an ERA of 0.55 in 63 innings. He walked 8 and struck out 118. Double pop. Greg Lucas has been telling us that this was the day, and now we see them in the hands of those youngsters.
A lot of those kids will probably name their pet Altuve.
He taps it, it goes foul.
Jose putting up a nice fight here.
Yeah, after Shuck's plate appearance, the walk on a 3-2 count, and now all the pitches Greinke is throwing here. Those 2 hitters have run up the count a little bit, but he's only at 48. This should be the 10th pitch to Altuve. White Sox 3, Minnesota 0, top of the 4th. Brent Willibridge hit his 9th. Paul Konerko, number 26 for the Sox. Farmas took off a little too soon. Now a rundown, and Betancourt will get it to Greinke for the tag. And that's the way the 3rd inning ends for the Astros. Greinke with that inside spin move got him as he took off just a fraction too soon, and it's 4-0 Milwaukee.
here in the top of the fourth, and I am here with JB Shuck's family, Dad Jack. We got Uncle Terry, we got Mom Cindy, and we got Aunt Mimsy, and they tried to get here on Friday for JB's debut. Yeah, you had a tough time. Tell us a little bit about what happened.
We had a little incident right off the bat getting into Columbus, Ohio with a flat tire that we had to change at the airport. Then we had a 20-minute delay landing at North Carolina at their airport at Charlotte, which we got on the plane there. I got on the plane there, and they got us off the plane because of lightning, and we ended up getting our flight canceled. And so I was at 6 hours in North Carolina before I got a plane to be able to get down to Houston. And finally we got into Houston, and we're listening to the game by telephone conversation when Jay got his first hit. So
you didn't make it here till like the 7th inning?
We didn't get here till the 7th inning. We were on our way.
Well, tell me a little bit about what this has been like. I know you got the call like at 2:30 in the morning. You were so excited to get here. Obviously, I know you're proud of him. A little tough not getting here on time, but it's got to be a great time for your family.
It's been very exciting. It's exciting for all of us to be down here. We're very proud of Jay. It's been a great experience. The Houston people down here have been wonderful. We really appreciate the hospitality and everything down here from you guys. But it's a great experience. You know, it's something that Jay has been his dream, his lifetime goal. We've been very supportive of him, and we're thrilled to death for him. And we're honored to be here. So.
All right, Mom, and I interviewed him after the game the other night, and Jack says that, I told him what a nice kid he was, and he said he gets all that from you, but I know you're proud of him as well.
I'm very proud of him. Like you said, he has worked very hard, and I am just happy to be here because we had a bad flight experience too. Those layovers, we're flying straight through next time, but we're very excited about being here for him.
All right, well, I'm going to let you guys enjoy the game, actually watch your son, but they're here rooting him on, and I know the fans in Houston are very excited to see this kid play, and he's shown us what he can do, guys.
Thanks, Patty. Here's strike one to Lucroy after a walk to Counsell. In a 4-0 game, the Brewers leading, and Bud Norris in his 4th inning will be facing Greinke next. Yeah, that's been part of the fun of this season, watching families come in for debuts. From all over. Jordan Lyles' family.
Patty could put out a little DVD. The best of family interviews.
She's done her share of those. And Jordan's family was here for his first major league win. 1-1.
It all starts back when they're little guys, right? Playing T-ball or Little League or whatever it is. Same game, bigger stage.
Carlos Lee goes over for this foul pop toward the stands.
Pays a little better here.
Oh, yeah.
Guy trying to make a catch with a cheese head. That's fairly clever.
Well, if you get it right in one of those holes, it might work.
Yeah, like a carnival game.
What a two. Yeah, you think about the parents and all those hours they spend ferrying the kids from game to home and tournaments and all those extra trips they make. It's a little bit of a payoff for them to fly in for a major league debut.
All the harassing college. You got to call the Little League coach and harass him to get your kid more playing time. Then you got to yell at the high school coach. A lot of pressure being a parent. Driving the carpool.
The Shuck family came all the way from Ohio through the Carolinas. Roundabout way of getting to Houston, but they said next time a direct flight might be in order. One and two for Bud Norris. He's given up 5 hits, including a fielder 2-run homer.
Astros have to find a way to turn this game. Get out of this inning. Again, it's a leadoff man reaching. All 4 innings that has been the case now. Hit batter, double, and now a leadoff walk. Astros had a little something going. Altuve putting up a big fight there in the bottom half of the 3rd, and then Barmer's getting caught off second base by Greinke. Everything is going against the Astros so far here this afternoon.
Counsell diving back. Jared Cosart will make his 2nd outing tonight for Corpus Christi. 21-year-old pitcher who joined the Astros and had such a good debut for that AA club. 6 shutout innings, 2 hits. Round 2 for him will be tonight.
But paying a lot of attention to Craig Counsell over there with the pickoff moves and then using the slide step there to try to be quick. And I think he's paying too much attention to Counsell. He's not a base stealer.
Popped up. Paredes up the left field line. Barmas over. Barmas calls him off. And in fair territory, he has it, 1 out. We go to Greg Lucas.
Got another great deal for Astro fans. You can save over 50% on Astros baseball this season with Price Matters Days, presented by HEB. Now, it's available every Monday through Thursday home game. You score a bullpen box ticket, hot dog, HEB chips, and a 16-ounce drink, and that's only for $20. Visit Astros.com for tickets. Price Matters Days, Monday through Thursdays here at Minute Maid Park.
Zach Greinke's the batter. Putting the bunt down. Norris over, and he'll tag him. Sacrifice for Greinke, number 5 of the year. That's out number 2. When Greinke pitched here for Kansas City in 09, he batted 8th. Nigel Morgan is the batter. He was hit by a pitch in the first and rode home on the fielder 2-out homer. In the 3rd inning, he doubled to right and later scored on the Lopez hit. Yeah, not only debuts for guys like J.B. Shuck, but also Henry Sosa, Brett Oberholzer, Paul Clemens, Jared Cosart coming into the Astros system after recent trades and doing well. Strike 1. I'm just kind of wondering if Sosa is a candidate to start that game Wednesday night. With Jay Happ headed for Oklahoma City. Sosa working on the same night as Happ Friday night. Went 7 shutout innings at Las Vegas in his first start for Oklahoma City. Fly ball to left center field. Caught by Bourgeois. And in the 4th, it's no runs, no hits, and a man stranded. It's 4-0 Milwaukee. Altuve was fighting. He had a long at bat going, and the runners were ready to break on a 3-2 count with 2 outs in the inning. Then Barmas took off a little bit too soon, and that was ruled a caught stealing on the 1-5-6-1 play to end the Astros 3rd. So Altuve comes right back up to start battling again here in the home 4th.
Yeah, I guess if you're looking for a silver lining from that play, it's the fact that Altuve's back up there after seeing a whole bunch of pitches from Greinke. So you have a pretty good idea of what the right-hander's featuring and what it looks like. A good feel for the movement and velocity.
Strike 1 to Jose. coming inside, runs the count to 1-1. Good group of Milwaukee starting pitchers, a group which has collaborated for 50 wins, 29 losses, second best winning percentage in the National League to the Phillies, and a 3.93 ERA. Rolled out to second. Lopez over to fielder, 1 out. Jason Bourgeois comes up. He struck out in the first. Astros have never been swept in back-to-back series by Milwaukee. The Brewers trying to achieve that by winning today. That's ball 1 to Jason. Astros have a .544 all-time winning percentage against the Brewers. They're second best against any NL team. They're better against the Washington Montreal franchise. 1 ball, 1 strike. Curveball, crack bat, caught on the line. 2 outs. Carlos Lee walked in the second inning. Washington and Colorado are just getting started at Coors Field with no score after a half an inning.
Greinke, that high leg kick kind of curls back to keep his weight back over the rubber. Good fluid repeatable delivery.
Ball 1 upstairs to El Caballo. Kansas City has scored 3 times in the home 4th inning and leads Detroit 3-0. Still batting. 2 balls, no strikes. The Tigers have been looking good lately, and they now have a 4-game lead on Cleveland. Ball 3, and it's 3 balls, no strikes to lead. Carlos has not seen a whole lot to swing at yet. Greinke's walked him on 4 pitches. 2 outs in the inning. Walk number 3 for Zach.
We talked about Shuck and his ability to work walks, but Carlos is a guy that doesn't walk very much at all. It's almost like Greinke's identified Carlos as the one guy. He's the one guy in this lineup that I've heard of. He's thinking.
Yeah. Well, it looks that way. The way the game's unfolding. He's walked 3. He has not walked more than 3 in any one start this year. Martinez, the batter, he grounded into a 1-6-3 double play.
We talked about the Brewers' success, their starters, and that's been a part of it. They've been able to keep the walks down. It's a good deep rotation, boy. When Randy Wolf's your 4 and Narveson having the kind of year he's having as the 5th guy, it sets up pretty well for Ron Roenicke.
Strike makes it 1-1 to Martinez.
Dr. Yacker.
Martinez out in front of that slow curve. And in the dirt, Lucroy blocking it. It goes to 2-2. Greinke said he had been told by a lot of people not to play pickup basketball, and he said it finally caught up to him this year.
A few years back, he left the Kansas City Royals in spring training suffering from depression. Almost left the game. It's really been a great story. His comeback.
Sure has. Well, there have been stories this year that he's fit in quite well in the Brewers clubhouse. Just to joke around. There's been a lot of good vibes, of course, in their clubhouse, the way they played. And this 27-year-old now seems to be really fulfilling what they had hoped he would do after a subpar start to the year.
And he was winning games early, but the ERA was fairly high.
Little tap out the shortstop. Betancourt to second for the force to end the fourth. No runs, no hits, and a man stranded after 4. It's 4-0 Brewers.
Kevin and I in the parking lot peppered us with questions about some of the new guys led by the son Blake here. And Blake, I know you're a big Astros fan and had a lot of questions about J.D. Martinez and some of the young guys. Just your thoughts on what you're seeing out here with these guys.
Well, it's a lot different team now that Hunter Pence and Michael Bourne and Jeff Coventry are gone, but I like what I'm seeing. The young guys are pretty good, and I think we're going to be pretty good in the future. I'm looking for 2013 World Series.
Nice prediction there. And, Mom, you guys, from Austin, I know you're huge fans. How often do you make the trip out here?
We only get to come a couple of times a year, but he records every game, knows every stat. We hear Astros every day.
I've had all my birthday parties out here since when I was like 4 years old. I've always come out here, and then I know from being from Austin, it's kind of hard to come out here a lot, but I always, whenever I can make it, I come out.
Well, Mom here, Cynthia, was telling me that Blake wrote his essay last year on the Astros about what they should do as far as new players, and they pretty much did it. So you also told me that your dream job, your future would be?
To be the general manager of the Astros.
General manager of the Astros. There you go. Well, in the meantime, I don't know if I can promise you that, but I can make you guys are progressive fans of the game. Thanks for making the trip out and being such great fans.
Thank you very much.
Guys.
Thanks, Patty.
I like his chances.
Yeah. That's Jim Crane, Houston, Texas.
Well, there has been this whole shift to younger front office personnel in Major League Baseball.
Yeah, there has. You bet. Fastball fouled away by Lopez. Well, they seem to have accurately forecast what was going on from what Patty said there. We did not.
You get a smart kid with a computer, crunch all the numbers and look at the stats. He's on his way.
Yes.
Find some good, reliable scouts.
That's in the air, and center fielder Jason Bourgeois moving a little bit. 1 out.
You should have asked him if he was aware of the exploits of one Murillo Gouveia.
Tell me about him.
Right-handed pitcher for the Astros A-ball club down in Lexington. Came into relief in the ball game last night, and in 4 innings of work, struck out 10 men. 10 men in 4 innings of relief. Murillo Gouveia. And I have no idea if I'm pronouncing that correctly or not. Murillo Gouveia. He's from Brazil.
Ryan Braun. It's at ball 1. He's 0 for 2. Brazil. Can you remember a pitcher being from Brazil?
No, I've never heard of a baseball player from Brazil.
Nope. Can't say we have. India, yes. The Pirates signed a couple of pitchers from India.
Well, I remember a couple years ago, Andres Reiner talking about Brazil being the next potential fertile ground for athletes.
Yeah.
Not so much baseball players, but good athletes, the guys you could train to play. And so somebody's playing down there.
It's the new frontier, JD.
Yeah, Murillo was.
Yeah. What an outing, though. 10 strikeouts in 4 innings. And no walks, right?
Yeah. 1 hit.
And he got the save, right?
Mm-hmm.
Heck of a save. I don't know if you'll see a save like that for a while. 2 balls and a strike.
I don't know if he's a real hard thrower or if he's got some kind of a trick pitch, but it had to be fun for the fans to watch last night.
You bet it did. In the air to left field, J.D. Martinez backing. All the way to the base of the wall. 2 outs. And Prince Fielder will bat. He ripped a 2-run homer in the first.
He didn't catch that one.
Not the way he can.
No. You could tell by the sound off the bat that he didn't square it up.
Fielder, in addition to the homer, scored a 2nd run in the 3rd inning on a Kotze hit after he reached a fielder's choice. Of course, it would be a fielder's choice.
Yeah,
So,
take that, big man.
if they hit the ball to him, it's always a fielder's choice, right?
Whether he wants to play it or not.
Where do you think he'll be playing next year?
You know, I was looking at some numbers on him, seeing what would be a good fit. He's very good here at Minute Maid Park. I don't think that's likely to happen. Been really good in Cincinnati, but they're or Philadelphia rather, but they're fairly well covered at first base.
No balls, 2 strikes. Boston and the Yankees have first baseman.
He doesn't want a DH, does he? I think he'd still like to play first base.
No, yeah. He has said that.
Well, you know, the Angels are a team that people feel like have some money to spend, and they may make a run at them. Chicago, the Cubs, another one. And maybe even the White Sox.
Still 0-2 to Prince Fielder. 2 sluggers in that family. Cecil, a big slugger in the American League. Prince is a better athlete than his father. Just outside. It's 1-2. We were in Milwaukee when he had just been drafted in the first round by the Brewers, and he flew in for a visit to talk contract.
Yeah, and he was taking BP and hitting balls off the scoreboard in center field.
That's right.
And when he was 12 years old, when his dad was with the Tigers, he was hitting home runs at Tiger Stadium.
Did he hit one over the roof there?
I don't know.
Legendary stuff.
12, 13 years old, and you're going deep in any big league park. That's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
I don't care if it's aluminum bat, BP pitching, whatever. It's to have that kind of strength at that age.
Hey, when you're 12 or 13, it's pretty impressive if you can ride your bike around the neighborhood and get back home. Two balls, 2 strikes.
Dodgers probably could use a first baseman, but I don't think they're going to have any money to spend. Tied up in court still.
Yeah, that's not looking like a very viable situation.
And same with the Mets. You know, the timing is kind of bad because some of these big dollar, what are typical big dollar franchises, are going through some tough money times.
They really are. 3-2, 2 outs to Fielder.
He's been very good at Wrigley in his career.
In the air, and it goes into right field on the ground, actually, and that's a 2-out single for Fielder. Fielder with his second hit of the day keeps that average at 300. What's this?
That's a new thing they got going on.
Okay.
It's some kind of a roar. It's a chest high changeup. Well, it's lucky that one didn't end up in the second deck.
Yeah. Maybe the strategy is, hey, we're just pitching this guy so tough with cutters in and everything. Just throw it over the middle. Kotsay rips one up the right field corner, and that's a fair ball, and it stays in play. Picked up by Shuck, and the throw comes in with Fielder getting a stop sign from Ed Cedar at third base. On a double by Kotsay, his 7th of the year. He really smacked that one hard. Got some top spin on it.
Kotsay getting the start this afternoon as Ron Renicky tries to get as many left-handed bats in there against Bud, and he's having a nice day. 2 for 3. Hit that bullet down to Carlos last time, and now this double into the corner. Perfectly played by JB out there.
It really was. I thought Fielder would be able to score on that. And now it's Betancourt. Betancourt doubled in the 2nd inning, grounded into a force play. 5 for his last 7 in this series. He looks at ball 1. That's 7 hits for the Brewers. They're well on their way to their 9th straight game with 10 hits or more. At 13 last night and 11 Friday night. That's into left center field. That'll score 2 to make it 6-0. Betancourt with a 2-run single. 47 runs batted in for the Milwaukee shortstop. 3 straight 2-out hits off Norris.
A little slider out of the way, and he just reaches out and pulls it into left center. Could prove to be, well, who knows what will be the decisive blow in any ball game, but at 4-0 you still felt you have a fighting chance. Down 6 now. It's highly improbable for the home team.
Ball 1 to Craig Counsell. He's lined to second and he's walked.
He's got a little 2-0-2-0-2 going on the scoreboard.
They certainly do. Barmas close to get Counsell. In the 5th inning, 2-run score for the Brewers on 3 hits with a man stranded. Their lead is stretched to 6-0. Have peppered the Astros with 8 hits. Houston collecting only a Clint Barmas single through the first 4. Barmas due to be second up here in the 5th inning with Jimmy Paredes leading it off, and then Carlos Corporal to bat third against Zach Greinke, who's been given this nice lead. Paredes struck out in the 2nd inning. And strike 1 dotting the inside corner. Braves still lead the Mets. It's 5-4 in the bottom of the 7th inning at New York. Lopez with a little flip to Fielder, 1 out. And Clint Barmas hit a curveball. Well, the Astros only hit a single to center field leading off the third inning. St. Louis and Florida are tied 1-1. Albert Pujols provided the Cardinal run with his 27th homer. They're in the bottom of the fourth inning in Florida.
Two-run homer yesterday for Albert, right? That 2-1 win?
Yeah, he really slugged it, too. There's ball one. Mike Stanton is just amazing. He threw out Berkman. I don't know if you saw that throw or not. Oh, he has a cannon for an arm. That's a line shot left field. Gone over. On the track, 2 outs.
Well struck, just not enough lift. Barmas, who hit the ball well last night, a deep out and then a home run.
Corcoran struck out in the third inning. Red Laurie of Toronto has gone deep for his first time as a major leaguer. Just recalled from the minors by the Blue Jays to play third base. Frees up Jose Bautista to go back to the outfield.
Lowry's, the only question was how well he will play the position, because he's was regarded as one of the best hitters in all the minor leagues.
He came from the Milwaukee system. Good change up there. That makes it 0-2. Brewers have been well put together, though, with a combination of trades and the draft. Matt Downs is on deck. It's 1-2. And the fact that they have assembled this group for this season led to high anticipations by the Milwaukee fans, which have been fulfilled so far, certainly. They've been well-attended games. Team responding. It could be a special year for Milwaukee. Brewers have already drawn 2 million plus. They're averaging 36,000 plus at Miller Park. Corcoran strikes out, and that's number 5 to end the 5th inning for Houston. Moving to the 6th, it's 6-0 Milwaukee.
Houston is brought to you by Jack in the Box. For a limited time, get Jack's really big chicken sandwich for $3.99 plus tax at participating restaurants. By AT&T, rethink possible. And by Gullo Automotive, treating you like family. And on our Fox Game Connect, we heard from one of the featured performers here at Minute Maid Park. You already saw them. She's wearing the red.
Oh, really?
Get to the Astros game now. I'll be running in the sauce packet race. I'll be fired. That's Annie Marion, and she was on fire. We've even got celebrities that are with us on Game Connect. Again, you can connect through foxsportshouston.com. Click on the little note that says Game Connect, and you too can be famous like fire.
You're on fire, Annie. This call to the bullpen presented by Verizon Wireless, bringing in Wilton Lopez, 6-0 Brewers. Sixth inning beginning with Lucroy. And Jonathan takes that pitch for strike one.
Wilton with outstanding timing because the Brewers are only scoring in odd innings today. 2 in the first, 2 in the third, 2 in the fifth. Wilton gets the sixth after a rough afternoon for Bud Norris, who had been so good against Milwaukee in his career. But today, not his day. Brewers a hot club right now. It's just tough to pin down.
That's a swing by Lucroy. Called by the first base umpire, Corey Blazer. He's behind 0-2. 1-2 so for Bud Norris. 5 innings today. 8 hits, 6 runs, 1 walk, 2 strikeouts, and a hit batsman. Pitcher spot due up first in the bottom of the inning. It's 2-2. Dodgers and Arizona have a late afternoon start in the desert. Clayton Kershaw and Ian Kennedy in a matchup of 13 game winners. It's 3-2. By the way, tomorrow night, JD, we are not televising the game. Just wanted to put that out there.
Yeah, Brownie and I made an executive decision. We're not going to bother showing up tomorrow night, so you're going to have to listen to it on Astros radio.
Now, if you have MLB.tv, you can get that. 2 hopper to Jimmy Paredes. We are assuming the Diamondbacks will be televising that game. If you have a dish package. 1 out. Leaders of the game brought to you by United. Proud to fly the Houston Astros on this homestand. 17 relievers pitching 19 innings, have a 1.89 ERA.
Pretty darn good work.
Sure is.
The boys in the pen recently realigned with the additions of Fulcino and Wesley Wright. Jay Happ being sent out. Del Rosario going on the DL.
Greinke looks at ball 1. He is 0 for 1 with a sac bunt today. We'll be back on the air Tuesday night with game 2 of that Arizona series at 8 o'clock.
Let's catch a break. A 4-game series with the Diamondbacks, but they don't face Ian Kennedy, who's been their best pitcher.
Well, 11-game winner Daniel Hudson will go tomorrow night against Wandy Rodriguez.
And he's no slouch.
Nope. 2-1. Wonder if the old prospector will be there.
I got a feeling he will make an appearance.
Look for him Tuesday night for the Jordan Lyles and Jason Marquis matchup. 2-2. He usually comes in from his desert wanderings to take in Astros games.
He's been panning for gold.
That's not a bad thought these days, panning for gold. In the air to left field, J.D. Martinez heading back toward the bullpen wall, still going, and that's a long second out as Greinke hits a bolt about 350 feet.
You have to make that determination early. Is it back in the well or is it headed towards the seats? Of course, if it's headed to the seats, there's not a whole lot you can do about it anyway, but turn and hope to play it off the wall.
Nigel Morgan has scored 2 runs in this game. He's been hit by a pitch. He's doubled. He's 1 for 2. Maybe we should head for Apache Junction tomorrow, JD.
Back where the Astros used to train, the Colt 45s.
That's right.
Where is Apache Junction?
It's not too far from where we're staying, actually.
But what is there?
Nothing.
Nothing?
It's never, ever developed the way they thought it would. According to the stories of the time, some of the Astros or Colt 45s executives thought it would be a good idea to purchase some land around there. The tremendous development that was about to occur didn't happen. 2 hoppers slowly hit. Barmas in. And in the 6th inning, Lopez has a 1-2-3 frame. 6-0 Brewers.
Of the 6. It's time for AT&T Trivia. Yes, we've kept you waiting. And here's the big question of the day. Name 3 of the 5 active pitchers as of the start of the season who had won 50 or more games in both leagues. Just name 3 of the 5, and I'll count it as being correct.
50 or more in both leagues. Matt Downs is the pinch hitter for Wilton Lopez. Has 8 pinch hit RBIs, tied for first in the majors. And there's strike 1 to him. Well, let's see. 50 or more in both leagues. That's a very interesting question. Foul back by Downs.
I'll give you one clue. If I'd said no, the key word is active for one of them.
Okay.
They're all active, though, right?
They're all active.
All right.
But the key word is active. If I used a different term, then one of them would have been eliminated.
I don't think this is right, but Brad Penny.
No, that is not.
Okay.
How about A.J. Burnett?
That is not on the list either. Let's see. How can I see that? Well,
how about Chris Carpenter?
No, let me say this. If one is not high, one is
low.
Well, Derek Lowe.
There's one.
Josh Beckett.
No, not enough in the National League.
Okay.
A major river in New York.
The Hudson.
That's correct.
Oh, Timmy Hudson, yeah.
That's 2. A type of flower.
Matt Downs has just snapped an 0 for 24 with a pinch hit, and he's headed for second base. What a relief for Matt Downs. First hit since July 10th at Florida. It's a weekend of snap slumps. Council snapped an 0 for 45. Downs gets rid of an 0 for 24.
I got the head out in front of that one and yanked it right down the third base line. The Astros can put a little pressure on Zach Greinke here. They've not really done that at all this afternoon.
Come on, get that ball and save it for Michael Jr.
Yeah.
It's a first hit since he's been born.
The little fella needs that baseball. 8th pinch hit for Matt. Now Shuck takes ball 1. Shuck has grounded out and he's walked. Wilson Lopez had a 1-2-3 6th inning without a strikeout. And that was only hit number 2 for the Astros. Back to our trivia question, though. We digress.
Ted Lilly.
That's the. Okay, now you've officially answered 3 out of 5.
Okay, but we need 2 more to advance to the next grade.
I'll give you the clue on the one that I was teasing about. He's active, but he's not right now in the major leagues. He's in the minor leagues.
Well, let's see. Somebody agreed to go to
Jeff
the minors.
Suppan has been pitching in the minor leagues all year.
He's won 11 games this year, so that would be number 4.
Okay. What's the other guy?
Javier Vasquez.
Oh, okay.
But you got it correct because you got 3 out of 5, so that was well worth all the bell ringing.
You got it after you gave us those clues.
Well, that's part of the thing.
Yeah, because we could never get them without clues.
And pretty soon you get bored and you'd start just playing with the game and
start watching the game
let it go
again. And start paying attention to the game.
Yeah,
the thing we're being paid for.
Fielder tossing to Greinke to get Shuck. And in the 6th inning, that's out number 1 as Shuck advances Downs to third base.
Okay, let's make it official so we can get back to the game. The AT&T Trivia question: 3 of 5 active pitchers at the start of the season who won 50 or more games in both leagues. And there were 5. One of them has actually played all year in the minor leagues, but he's still active. That's Suppan, but there you see the list.
Let's do some more trivia.
Yeah, really, the game isn't all that exciting right now. I'm just looking up Carpenter's numbers here. 15, 25, 34, 45. He's got 49 wins in the American League.
Altuve's 0 for 2, and now gets a hit to left field, and a run scores. Altuve with a big turn, jams on the brakes as Braun comes up with it. RBI single Altuve, his 4th run batted in, makes it 6-1.
That time the aggressive approach paying off, picks on that first pitch, just muscles it into left field. The fastball in on him. He's showing a pretty quick bat right there.
Yes, he did. Jason Bourgeois struck out and hit a looping liner to first. This one goes into right field. Altuve waiting for the ball to pass in front of him. A single by Bourgeois, the third hit of the inning for the Astros.
One of the scouts I was talking with earlier today, who's seen Greinke a fair amount, said, he has a tendency every now and then to get a little careless in the strike zone, and you can take advantage. See if the Astros are able to do that here in the 6th inning with one in, couple on, and a guy that so far today in Carlos Lee that Zach Greinke has shown no inclination to go after.
No, he is not. He seems to have identified Carlos as somebody not to pitch to. Carlos has walked both times.
Got no choice now with runners on first and second.
Carlos is 2 for 13 lifetime against Greinke with a homer and 3 runs batted in, so the numbers do not support that thesis. That might be the way he's thinking. Because of Carlos being such an established hitter in a lineup with many young players. Well, a 3-run homer right here would make it a much more interesting contest. Floating curveball. It's a 1-ball, 1-strike count. And Carlos is creeping up on Craig Biggio for the run batted in list at Minute Maid Park. He's 4th on the list. And he needs 4 more to tie Bidge for 3rd. Goes foul, and it's a 1-2 count.
Carlos looking in there pretty quick to that 92-mile-an-hour heater.
Well, Carlos snapped an 0 for 23 Friday night, and Counsell 0 for 45, and Downs 0 for 24. So it's been a weekend for those slumps to die. Martinez on deck. And again, Carlos looks at a wide one. It's 2 balls, 2 strikes. Greinke is at 88 pitches. 55 have been strikes. The Mets got a run in the 7th to tie the Braves. It's 5-5 moving to the 8th. Tim Burdack in the game right now for New York. Hit him and got by Lucroy. Runners moving up to 2nd and 3rd. Altuve to 3rd, Bourgeois to 2nd on a pitch under the chin of Lee.
I've seen this a couple of times this afternoon from Greinke. He throws a picture perfect fastball for strike 1, outside corner at about 94 miles an hour, and then he gets out of the strike zone after that, hoping to see if the hitter will get himself out. And if you get the jump on a hitter, it's worth it to take a couple of shots, or at least one shot out of the strike zone. But when you throw as well as he does, I'm just a little bit surprised at how defensive he's been at times, despite the comfortable lead.
Line shot caught at third base. Counsell timed his leap just perfectly on a well hit ball by Lee. 2 outs.
Good battle, good AB by Carlos. Ends up putting a pretty good swing on one, but Counsell Johnny on the spot to haul it in.
Didn't really have to extend all the way either. Martinez bats. He is 0 for 2. Bounced into a double play and then into a forced play.
Is it asking too much for a 3rd 3-run home run in his first week of the big leagues?
Nope. You can always ask.
Nothing wrong with begging.
Begging is allowed in baseball. This ball 1 to him.
That's right. There's no crying, but begging is good. We're good with begging.
St. Louis 1, Florida 1, bottom of the 5th at Florida. That's a liner, and the second baseman is there. Lopez with the catch to end the 6th. 1-run scoring on 3 hits, 2 men stranded in scoring position. It's 6-1 Milwaukee.
Catherine Melanson, who is one of the chairs for the annual Astros Wives Gala, which will be on the August 18th right here at Minute Maid Park. The event includes a cocktail reception, dinner, and a silent and live auction with proceeds benefiting the Houston Area Women's Center. To register, visit astros.com/community. I talked to those lovely ladies, some of those wives the other night. They said tickets are going fast. There are some available, guys, so fans, if you're watching, go ahead, make the call, go to the website, and get involved. It's a great event.
Really is wonderful charity, and those auction items they were describing are quite interesting too. Sergio Escalona is 2-1. His ERA 2.49. He comes into this 6-1 ball game to work the 7th inning.
He's got 2-3-4 up. Felipe Lopez, a switch hitter, turns around to bat right. Then it'll be Braun and Fielder.
0-1 from Escalona. Lopez drove in a run with a single in the 3rd inning. That's headed for Jason Bourgeois in center. 1 down. Braun next. He's 0 for 3. Oklahoma City won over Las Vegas last night 6-5. Juan Abreu, one of the Astros acquisitions in the recent trades, had a save in that game. A scoreless inning, 2 strikeouts. He's a hard thrower from the Braves organization obtained in the Michael Bourne deal.
A real hard thrower, right? 95, 96 miles an hour.
Exactly. We would expect to see him up here before the end of the year. There's strike 1 to Braun. Corpus Christi lost 4-3 to Midland.
The Midland Rockhounds. What's a rockhound?
Don't know. I don't know what kind of a dog that would be.
Or a fish?
Could be a fish. All those minor league nicknames, though.
Yeah, maybe it's a minor. Someone who pounds rocks.
It could be.
Yeah, let me see. Last night the Astros, they played the AAA. They played the Las Vegas 51s, named after Area 51. The Midland Rockhounds, the Inland Empire 66ers. I guess that's after Route 66.
Yeah.
And he played the Greenville Drive.
Okay. Foul ball there.
Don't know the genesis of that nickname.
No, couldn't tell you.
And the Tri-City team in the New York Penn League, they were rained out against the Vermont Lake Monsters.
Okay.
That would be after Lake Champlain. Champy, the monster who lives in Lake Champlain.
So that it's still floating out there?
Yeah, kind of like the Loch Ness Monster. Lake Champlain's version of Loch Ness.
Well, if their lakes are down the way the Texas lakes are, we'll find out if he's down there soon enough. One hopper back to the pitcher. That's out number 2. Allison Footer's going to make a tour of a couple of the Astros minor league clubs, and she'll be reporting back on that soon. She's going to go to, I think, Lexington and Lancaster here in the next week. And
with so many of the kids called up from Corpus, now the focus goes down a little bit below that.
Yeah.
Well, go see what that Singleton kid's got in Lancaster.
Exactly.
See that big bat.
Should be seeing him. Fielder is 2 for 3. You mentioned it the other night. We were talking about Jonathan Singleton, 19 years old, and off to a good start in the early games at Lancaster. And he was backlogged behind Ryan Howard in Philadelphia. So the Astros think that they got a real pure power hitter.
Every report I've read on the kid is he's a can't miss bat. Just can absolutely mash.
But very young, obviously. It's 2 balls and a strike. So, yeah, the numbers were good for him playing for Clearwater in the Florida State League. That is more of a pitcher's league with big ballparks, a lot of humidity, and he'll be in an opposite type league now in Lancaster. Very good hitters league for the rest of the year. 3 balls and a strike, so that'll be interesting to follow his progress.
Escalona's been on a real nice roll here lately.
Ball catches the corner. 3-2.
He's allowed just 1 earned run in his last 15 or 16 appearances. Keeping the walks down.
22,815 to paid attendance. That's a walk with 2 outs, so he was keeping the walks down.
He walked a very dangerous hitter. You can understand him being careful with Big Prince. Here's what's going on down on the farm. Cozart and Singleton both coming over in that deal with the Phillies. He'll go tonight. Cozart will, after 6 shutout innings in his Double-A debut. Singleton off to a good start at Lancaster, and Henry Sosa, picked up in the Keppinger deal, is rolling along nicely.
7 shutout innings Friday night and his first AAA start for the Astros. I think he was briefly at AAA for the Giants earlier this year. But he's a guy who might be pitching for the Astros soon. Kotsay is 2 for 3. Sharply hit into center field. Kotsay's 3 for 4. Ron Renicky made a nice selection to get him into the lineup today. Now Betancourt, he's been on fire the last couple of games. White Sox 6, Minnesota nothing. They're in the top of the 7th at Minnesota. San Diego 7, Pittsburgh nothing in the 8th. Matt Latos has a 4-hitter through 7. Detroit and Kansas City are now in a rain delay at Kansas City, top of the 6th inning, 4-2 Royals. Sharply hit into center field. Fielder's coming to the plate to make it 7-1. RBI single by Betancourt. And he is having quite a weekend here in Houston. 3 hits today, 4 last night, and 9 in the series now.
I think it's just a case of the Astros showing him too many strikes. He's a guy who loves to swing the bat, and he'll chase bad balls. For the most part, they've stayed in the strike zone with him, and he's taken advantage.
Make that 8 hits in the series for him.
You're talking about the Pirates and the Padres. Padres thumping the Pirates this weekend in Pittsburgh. Check this one out. It's the first time in their history that the Pirates have lost consecutive games at home by double-digit margin.
Really?
They've been around since 1887 in the National League. It's the first time ever, and it comes at the hands of the punchless San Diego Padres.
Ooh, yeah, right. Very unusual occurrence. Craig Counsell, first of all, that they haven't done it before, and secondly, that it was the Padres.
Yeah. Well, and it's the first time in the Padres' history that they've won consecutive road games by double digits.
Escalona takes a walk. He got 2 quick outs here, then walking Fielder.
Started talking him up, and all of a sudden things went south.
Yeah. Now David Carpenter is warming up. Lucroy on deck. Strike to Counsell. It's 3-1 to Craig.
It's that odd inning thing, Brownie.
It is. It's crazy today. 2 runs in the first, 2 more in the third, 2 more in the 5th, 1 here in the 7th.
So if Sergio could hold him to just the 1, you would say that it's been a major improvement.
It has been an improvement. Cincinnati 6, Chicago 2, bottom of the 6th inning. Now a 3-2 count, and with 2 outs, the runners are ready. Kotsay at second, Betancourt at first, taking off on this next one. Frazier and Renteria have added to the home runs by the Reds today. Earlier, Stubbs hit 1.
Today's Renteria's birthday.
Wow, you're all over that.
Well, when you wished happy birthday to Max True earlier, I decided to check out the Major League Baseball America.
Okay. We missed Allison Footer's birthday the other night, by the way.
Is that right?
Yeah. Sorry about that, Allison. On this date in Astros history, also, in addition to what you already saw, Tal Smith was named general manager, replacing Spec Richardson in 1975. Shortly after that, he hired Bill Verdon as the manager. Runners going, and it's a foul ball. And Verdon began a long and successful run and became the winningest manager in club history. Ten hits for the Brewers, 4 for the Astros. No errors in the game today. Each club has stranded 4. That's hit to center field. Bourgeois backing on it for the catch. And it's 1 run scoring on 2 hits with 2 men left. In the middle of the 7th inning, as the fans will join in the singing of God Bless America. We'll let you do that too with soldiers on the field. And Milwaukee's lead has grown to 7-1.
Home Sweet Home program. The Astros.
Milwaukee 7, Houston 1. Bottom of the 7th inning begins with Jimmy Paredes batting. He is struck out and grounded out. Zach Greinke throws strike 1. He's allowed just 4 hits to the Astros, 3 of those coming in the 6th. And Carlos Lee lined out to third, and Martinez lined out to second to end it. It's a 1-1 count to Paredes. That's in the air and to shallow right field. Lopez pursues it, gives way, and Kotsay is there. One down. With Clint Barmas coming up next. He singled in the third inning, lined out to left in the fifth.
Kotsay took one peek at Lopez, said, well, this could be an easier play for me. I got a long way to go, and my legs are feeling kind of fresh. Don't play a lot. He's a veteran guy, been around a good long while, and he's having a nice day here today.
He sure is.
Ron Renicky no doubt told him at the ballpark last night, hey, you're in there tomorrow, get your rest.
Strike one to Barmas. Out to right center field. Kotsay legging it back. And coming over for the catch is Morgan. 2 outs. We go to Greg Lucas.
Hey, baseball fans. Chevy is proud to support youth baseball leagues in your local community. If you'd like to learn more about Chevy youth baseball programs, go to youthsportswired.com. Good number of young folks in the audience today enjoying the concessions. And, of course, some of them enjoying their cuddle pups.
That's right. Carlos Corcoran. He's 0 for 2 with a pair of strikeouts. There is strike one to Carlos. Formerly with the Brewers. They drafted him in 03 in the 12th round. No balls, 2 strikes. Had 1 at bat with Milwaukee in 09. Jason Michaels is on deck.
Styling, young man.
Yes, he is styling. It's 1-2. Well, the Diamondbacks are next for the Astros. They are currently 1/2 game behind the front-running Giants in the NL West. They've played 1 fewer game, and they're even in the loss column. Kirk Gibson has that club really into an interesting part of the season now, playing so much better than last year. Strikeout looking to end the 7th inning. That's number 6 for Greinke, and after 7, it's 7-1 Milwaukee.
Uncensored. See what they're saying at Hyundai.com. Astros have yet another arm on the mound as we get set to resume play here. Let's go back upstairs to Bill Brown and Jim Deshaies.
Thank you, Greg. We're watching Fernando Rodriguez warm up. As in this 7-1 ball game, he's on the mound for the 8th inning with a 2-1 record and a 2.5 ERA.
5 innings from Bud Norris this afternoon, then Lopez, Escalona, and now Fernando Rodriguez out of the Astros bullpen. Lopez with a clean 1-2-3-6. Escalona got touched for a run last inning. The numbers for Fernando this year are good. 2.51 ERA, 2-1 record, and 26 appearances. And take a look at that note at the bottom. Since June 18th, a .65 ERA for the right-hander.
He's warming up to face Lucroy leading it off, and then the pitcher's spot due up second, and Morgan in the 8th inning. Rodriguez is pitcher number 4 for the Astros. Bud Norris started, giving up 8 hits and 6 runs in 5 innings. Marco Estrada's warming up in the bullpen for Milwaukee. And apparently we'll see if Greinke comes out to the on-deck circle or whether they will pinch hit for him. He is coming out. Lucroy is 0 for 3. 10 hits for the Brewers, 4 for the Astros. No errors in the game. Josh Wilson is the guys in the on-deck circle. Other than Greinke. Zach apparently will cash in his chips after 7 very good innings today. On track for win number 10 of the season. He would be 10-4 if he got that win today.
Continuing a very nice run of pitching for Greinke and for the Brewers for that matter. Greinke, his problems this year have been on the road, but he reversed that here this afternoon.
Strike there to Lucroy makes it a 2-2 count now for Rodriguez. Now the last road start prior to today for Greinke was good one at Arizona. He lost it 4-0, but he gave up 2 runs in 7 innings. Strike 3 looking.
Good hammer there. Crow's done a lot of damage against the Astros this year. Nothing for 4 today now with a second punch out. He just gets jelly-legged by that curveball. He looks at it with disdain, just staring at that ball, saying, how can you do me like that?
Josh Wilson pinch hitting at 267, has a couple of homers. He's driven in 4 in 40 games. Fouls it back. There's strike 1 to Wilson.
Here's a good one.
Okay.
On this date in 1915, Brooklyn had a rookie pitcher on the mound by the name of Ed Appleton. Miller Huggins was managing St. Louis and coaching third base. He called for the ball. The rookie tossed him the ball. Huggins steps aside, and the Cardinal runner from third scores. How about that for a dirty trick?
Mr. Appleton didn't have a whole lot working upstairs that day.
Well, you know, you're a rookie pitcher. You got this manager. You know, you respect the other manager.
That was dirty.
Toss him the ball, and he gets out of the way and sends home the run from third. We had a guy, a Legion coach up where I'm from, do the same thing.
Really?
Yeah, a bunch of 15-year-olds.
That's just not right. But Greg Lucas will tell us what is right.
Well, here's what I'm going to tell you about. You know, we talk about MLB.TV, and if you're out of market, you can take the Astros with you wherever you go this year. You can subscribe to MLB.TV today and see every Astros live or on-demand game on your computer or your favorite devices. Astros.com is the place to order and get more details. But a reminder that tomorrow's game, not on television, will be on MLB.TV for those of you who are already subscribers. It is not listed as the free game, so if you're not already subscribing, you would need to subscribe. And we don't know yet for sure if it's going to be open inside this market, but it may be. So check MLB.TV tomorrow. Maybe you can catch the action after all.
Or maybe you can catch Astros radio.
That is always there, as they are quick to point out anytime we are missing.
Yeah. 2 balls, no strikes to Nyjer Morgan. He has a double, and he's been hit by a pitch, scoring twice. That'll be Dave Raymond and Brett Dolan working a game tomorrow night from Phoenix, Arizona. It's 3-0 to Morgan against the big bad D-backs of Kirk Gibson, Tony Rodriguez, and Daniel Hudson tomorrow night. Tuesday night we're back on the air on television with Jordan Lyles and Jason Marquis. Wednesday night the Astros have not named their starter. It's Josh Colmeter for Arizona. And Thursday night Brett Myers and Joe Saunders will be the starters. And airtime on those 3 games for Astros Live will be 8 o'clock on FS Houston Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. 3-2 now for Rodriguez. And foul back. Braves got a run in the top of the 9th inning to grab a 6-5 lead over the Mets. The Mets are now batting in the bottom half against Johnny Venters.
Good luck with that. Kid's nasty.
He really is. Atlanta currently 9.5 behind the streaking Phillies, who have won 9 in a row. But still in a favorable spot in the wild card race. The Braves have a 3.5 game lead.
3.5 game lead over Arizona. Cardinals 4 back in the wild card. So that's kind of the pool of potential playoff teams now. Philly, Atlanta in the East, Milwaukee, St. Louis, San Francisco, Arizona. Anybody else that were to get into the mix, it would take one heck of a run.
Yeah.
The Mets are 8 games off the wild card pace. Pirates and Reds have fallen behind in the Central. Hottest team in the league, maybe the Cubs, or at least in the Central Division. They've won 7 in a row.
Yeah. Ball 4 to Nigel Morgan. He's on with 2 outs for Lopez now. Brewers are 7-0 since Lopez became their second baseman. Filling in for the injured Ricky Weeks. He is 1 for 3 with an RBI. He had been with them before a couple of years ago. They also have Counsell who can play there. Foul back. There's strike 1. They traded Brett Lawrie. We talked about the fact he had hit his first major league homer earlier today for Toronto, but they got Sean Markham in that deal. So it was more of a short-term strategy to get Markham onto their pitching staff that seems to have paid off quite well.
Yeah, you hate to give up a guy like Lowry with his bat, but you know they addressed the need. They have plenty of offense. They needed pitching.
One ball, one strike. Tell you what, though, that Toronto club, though, with Colby Rasmus, if he would really pan out well, and then Lawrie, and Batista, and the other young guys they have, might be building something. Fly ball near the left field line. Martinez over. In the 8th, it's no runs, no hits, and a man stranded. 7-1, Milwaukee. The bottom of the 8th inning have made some changes. Staying in to play second, it's Josh Wilson after pinch hitting for the pitcher Greinke, who in 7 innings allowed 4 hits, 1 run with 3 walks, 6 strikeouts. And the reliever is Marco Estrada. He's 2-7. His ERA is 4.57.
Now Marco's going to feature a fastball that he will cut occasionally. Slider, curveball, and a changeup. Not an overpowering guy, but he's got a decent enough fastball. Zach Greinke completed 7 relatively pressure-free innings here this afternoon. 4 hits and a run. Played with the lead or pitched with the lead all afternoon long. Walked 3, punched out 6 as the Brewers closing in on this weekend sweep here in Houston. It'll be the first time it's ever happened if they're able to do it.
Brian Bogusevic comes up as a pinch hitter now. Batting for Rodriguez, who in 1 inning allowed no hits, no runs, had a walk and a strikeout. Bogusevic 6 for 23 pinch hitting this season. He looks at strike 1. Overall, he's had 44 at bats, a 205 average with 1 RBI. It's out into center field. Morgan moving in for it, and that's a hit in front of him. Pinch single for Bogusevic. Second pinch hit for the Astros today. Matt Downs had a double back in the 6th. That's 44 pinch hits for the Astros this season and 166 at bats.
Bogusevic's good down there. It's a little sinker, moving down and away.
J.B. Shuck is 0 for 2 with a walk. He takes strike 1 from Estrada, who's 28 years old. Marco's from Sonora, Mexico. He was claimed off waivers last year from Washington. One ball, 1 strike. Estrada went to Long Beach State. Mark Melanson's throwing for Houston in the bullpen. Foul by Shuck, and it's 1-2. He went to Ohio State. Frank Howard went to that school. Big slugger for the Dodgers, and Senators, and some other teams.
Hondo.
6'7". What a massive man.
And maybe the most admired guy. Boy, anybody ever crossed paths with Frank Howard absolutely loves the guy.
Yes. And that is Estrada's strikeout for out number 1. Altuve next. He singled in the Astros run in the 6th. He's 1 for 3. Cardinals 4, Marlins 2. St. Louis just got 3 in the top of the 6th inning. Jason Bourgeois is on deck. Altuve looks at ball 1. San Diego 7, Pittsburgh 3. They're in the bottom of the 9th in Pittsburgh. Brandon Wood hit his 7th home run for the Buccos. It's 2 balls, no strikes. Minnesota has only 3 hits in 8 innings against the White Sox. White Sox leading at 7-0. Jake Peavy pitching the gem. Popped up. Out of play, and it's 2 balls and a strike. The Astros 1, 2 of 3 from Cincinnati, but Milwaukee threatening to pull off a 3-game sweep here. Prevent the Astros from doing much better on this homestand after that nice start. Now the count runs to 3-1. Coming into this game, the Astros had won 8 of their last 12 at home against Milwaukee. Had a .640 all-time winning percentage at Minute Maid against the Brewers. Their third best against any National League opponent. That's a strike. That makes it a full count to Altuve. Cameron Lowe's warming up for the Brewers. Line shot into left. Altuve turned on that pitch, and he's 2 for 4 now.
Probably thought he'd drawn a walk on the previous pitch, but now he's glad that he didn't.
Yeah.
It's more fun to get a knock. And nice swing of the bat there for Jose.
Previous one was questionable.
Sort of challenges him right over the heart of the plate. Throw that kind of a pitch, you expect to give up a hard hit ball.
True. Jason Bourgeois 1 for 3. A single to right at the 6th. Carlos Lee on deck. And it's ball 1 for Estrada. They resume play in Kansas City. The Royals leading the Tigers 4-3 in the bottom of the 6th inning. It's 2-0. Washington 2, Colorado nothing. They've played 5 at Coors Field. Johnny Gomes at his 12th. Apparently Steven Strasburg is on target to be back in the rotation in September for the Nationals.
Maybe we'll catch him.
Quite possible. We'll be there, what, mid-September, right?
I believe so.
3 balls, no strikes. Jordan Zimmerman, I believe, is going to be shut down at the present pace right around the end of August. So could work out well for the Nationals to slot Strasburg into his position in the rotation.
The Astros are in D.C. September 9th, 10th, and 11th.
John Lannon has the Washington shutout underway so far through 5 at Colorado. Fastball gets a strike there, and it's 3-2 to Bourgeois. Brewer bullpen has 15 wins, 21 losses, a 3.79 ERA. 4 different relievers worked last night for Ron Renicky. That's strike 3 this time. Two outs.
Very similar to the strike 2 that was called on Altuve. But Fox Tracks indicates he made a perfect pitch. Knee high on the edge. Painting with the fine brush.
Carlos Lee has walked twice and lined to third. Phillies and Giants have played 2 with no score in the hotly contested series at AT&T Park. Giants won 2 of 3 in Philly. Phillies trying to sweep that 4-game series. A swing and a miss, and the ball gets by Lucroy. Runners moving along to second and third.
Giants just having a devil of a time trying to score runs.
Boy, aren't they?
3 runs or fewer in 12 of the last 16 ball games. As bad as they were offensively last year, even worse this year.
Thinking wild pitch on that, but we haven't heard.
Yeah, I think so.
Line drive to right field. We'll get Bogasevic home. Stop sign. Whoop. Altuve's running through that stop, and he scores. On a 2-run single by Lee. And it's 7-3 as Carlos now has driven in 63.
Had Altuve turned around after he crossed home plate, he would have gotten locked in on by Dave Clark, who threw up a stop sign, and Clark had come way down the line. There's the stop sign. Altuve just completely disregarding him.
Yes, he did.
Look at him. He's looking out at the play.
Almost tripped over Dave Clark, but he scored the run.
The throw was offline, but if you're the third base coach, you have to make that decision obviously earlier than that. So it turns out okay, but the situation there called for Altuve to pull up.
7-3 Milwaukee. Back in a moment. Eighth inning to make it 7-3. That prompts a pitching change. Big 6'7" right-hander Cameron Lowe coming out of the bullpen for the Brewers, and he'll be facing J.D. Martinez.
Well, Lowe's been a busy man this year, having worked 55 times already. 3-7, 4.15 ERA. Pretty good sink on his fastball. Big, tall guy. Pretty adept at driving the ball down in the zone. Good sink around the knees.
Facing Martinez with Lee on at first and 2 outs. Martinez 0 for 3. Big hole through the right side of the infield. And it's ball 1 from Lowe, former Texas Ranger. Lowe pitched 53 times last year for the Brewers. He's from Simi Valley, California. Went to Cal State Northridge. Pitched in Japan for a while. It's a 2-ball, no strike count. Lowe was tagged with a loss here in a 2-1 Astros win back on the 30th of April. That's a foul ball off his foot, and it's a 2-ball, 1 strike count to Martinez.
Now, a little factoid I threw out there about the Giants. I was actually wrong. I said it's 3 runs or fewer in 12 of their last 16. It's actually fewer than 3 runs, so it's 2 runs or less in 12 of their last 16 ball games. Have not endured a stretch like that since 1909.
Ooh. Roy Oswalt's pitching for the Phillies in that game against Lincecum. Foul ball, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Roy coming off a back problem. He's been out for several weeks.
Not a bad fit starter, Roy Oswalt. But you know, when you look at what that Worley kid has done, and Halladay and Lee and Hamels,
yeah,
it's been unbelievable.
It'll be interesting to see what kind of a penalty Shane Victorino gets for his role in that fracas Friday night. Lowe off his glove out to second. And on to first base by Wilson. To end the 8th inning with 2 runs scoring on 3 hits for the Astros and a man stranded, 7-3 Milwaukee. Astros have made changes now, moving toward the 9th inning. Pitcher number 5 will be on the mound, and Brian Bogusevic stays in to play the outfield for the Astros. He's in right field with J.B. Shuck moving over to center, and Jason Bourgeois coming out of the game. Meanwhile, it's Mark Melancon on the mound for the 9th, and he is 6-3 with 11 saves in 14 opportunities.
He has converted his last 5 save opportunities. Obviously, that is not the case here. But a chance to come in and work an inning, stay sharp. That's kind of what it's all about for Brad Mills. You know, obviously, things change as the game situation changes. But when you get 5 out of your starter, the one thing you don't want to do is stretch anybody out in that bullpen so much that they're not available the next day.
Ryan Braun leads it off. He's 0 for 4.
Certainly not any of the guys that you count on to preserve leads late in ball games.
True. Melancon gets strike 1 on a foul tip from Braun. Mark pitching in both of the Astros wins in the Cincinnati series. He was the winning pitcher Monday night in the 10th inning, and he worked a couple of scoreless in that one, and then Wednesday he got save number 11. Giving up a run in 1 inning, but he came in with a 2-run lead. Foul back by Braun. 4 balls, 2 strikes. For the Astros in the bottom of the 9th, Paredes, Barmes, and Corcoran are due up. Bogusevic in the 9 spot in the order, and the pitcher's in the number 3 spot right now. Out of play, still 0-2. The Brewers try for a sweep of this 3-game series. Something that they hope will get them going on the road, where they're 23-35 this season. Braun's down on strikes.
Not many 0 for 5s for him this year.
No.
He had a tough day. A couple of punch outs, pop up to short, fly ball to left, and a ground ball back to the mound. He just got chewed up by that good heater from Melancon.
Prince Fielder has a 2-run homer in the 1st, a single in the 5th. He has a walk. He has scored 4 runs in this game. Strike 1 to Fielder. After going to St. Louis for 3, the Brewers are back home against Pittsburgh and Los Angeles. No balls, 2 strikes.
For what it's worth, it's not really worth anything other than the fact that I can look it up because computers are really cool. This is the first time that Braun has gone 0 for 5 this year.
Really? Diving Carlos Lee got his mitt on it, but then it's a hit on through into right field. Sharply hit ball by fielder for a single.
He's had some hot shots down there in his direction this afternoon, and here's another one. He's tight to the line and just can't get over there and down in time to corral that smash from fielder. On base for the 5th time.
Quite a day for fielder. Now it's Kotsay. He's been on base 3 times in a row with an RBI and a run scored. 3 for 4. There's strike 1. He's filling in for Corey Hart, who had x-rays on his hand after being hit by a pitch last night. They were negative. He has a bruised hand. Well, that was tough for that Colorado pitcher, Juan Nicasio. He had to have surgery after being hit by that line drive in the head. So he's out for the season. I think he'll be fine for next year. No balls, 2 strikes. It's 1-2.
Yeah, when you're out there in the mound and that ball comes back at you, sometimes you always think that you would be able to react in time to knock it down, but sometimes it's just not the case.
There have been some terrible injuries. Herb Score and on down through the ages. Guys hit by line drives. Still a 1-2 count on Kotsay with Betancourt on deck. Cardinals 4, Marlins 4. They move to the 7th inning in Florida.
Still remember that game in Arizona when Billy Wagner took one off the dome.
Scary. It's 2-2.
We knew he was likely going to be okay because he's so hard-headed, but it's still very scary.
It was, yeah. Anytime they carry a player off on a stretcher, it is a scary sight. And that's what they did with Nicasio.
Now, he had a fracture in his neck, right, Nicasio?
Yes. Toward left field. Martinez over and in. 2 outs. Betancourt has been a very tough out. Last night and today, a total of 7 hits in those 2 games for Betancourt. Driven in 4 today, or 3 rather.
Well, that's what it's all about, right? When you have a deep lineup, and managers keep talking about having length to their lineup. You know, guys down the order who are capable of contributing on a somewhat frequent basis, at least. So here you have a day where they neutralize Ryan Braun, but fielder Kotsay and Betancourt, my goodness, they've been on base all afternoon.
They will take their streak of 9 straight games with 10 hits or more on to St. Louis. Tuesday night, it'll be Edwin Jackson facing Sean Markham. Center fielder Shuck back a few steps. And in the 9th for Milwaukee, it's no runs, a hit, a man left, and it's 7-3 Brewers.
You by the Progressive Insurance Group. For a money-saving car insurance quote, call 1-800-PROGRESSIVE today.
Seen outside Minute Maid Park on a very warm day. The Astros will be saying farewell to this ballpark for a week after this game. In the bottom of the ninth inning, they trail by 4. Milwaukee leading it, and it's Paredes, Barmas, and Corcoran due up for Houston in the home ninth against Cameron Lowe. Paredes is 0 for 3, a strikeout, a ground out, and a fly ball. Lowe came in to get the final out in the 8th. He delivers strike 1. Marco Estrada in 2/3 of an inning allowed 3 hits, 2 runs. With no walks, he struck out 2. Phillies got a run in the 3rd. They lead San Francisco 1-0 after 3 with Roy Oswalt pitching. It's 0-2. Arizona got 2 in the 1st and leads the Dodgers 2-0 in the top of the 3rd. Kelly Johnson hit his 18th homer. Yankees in Boston play tonight at Fenway. Freddie Garcia and Josh Beckett dueling in that one. With first place on the line in the AL East. Paredes is down on strikes.
And that's going to be the challenge for Jimmy, is to start to show some discipline, or else he's not going to get any strikes to swing at. He very rarely walked down at Corpus this year. And the longer he's around at this level, the more the pitchers will start to exploit that.
Clint Barmas singled in the 3rd inning. He's 1 for 3. Ball 1 for Cameron Lowe. Atlanta beat New York 6-5 at Citi Field, with Johnny Venters getting the win, going to 6-1. He beat Bobby Parnell, and Craig Kimbrell got save number 34. One ball, 1 strike. It was Toronto 7, Baltimore 2. Ricky Romero went to 10-9 with that win. Despite 2 homers from Mark Reynolds, giving him 26. White Sox and Jake Peavy shut out Minnesota 7-0.
You heard about this deer antler spray thing?
No.
Major League Baseball players have been issued a warning over the use of deer antler spray. Substance administered under the tongue that includes a banned chemical known for its muscle building and fat cutting effects. This is being reported by Sports Illustrated.
Deer antler spray. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Never heard of it. Obviously somebody has. Foul ball keeps the count at 2-2.
According to the report, scientists discovered that IGF-1 in the velvet of immature deer antlers, and players have been using it as an alternative to steroids.
Interesting. Always trying to get an edge. Yeah, exactly. Barmas goes for the breaking ball and strikes out. 2 outs now in the 9th inning for Lowe. Carlos Corcoran 0 for 3, 3 punch outs.
Well, chance at a little redemption. Carlos, get yourself a knock here. At least you can jump on the airplane feeling a little bit better about the way your day went.
Bogasevic's on deck. San Diego down the Pirates 7-3. A win for Matt Latos. He's 6-11, and a loss for Kevin Correa. He's 12-10. Well, Milwaukee can look at that scoreboard and feel good about what's happened here this weekend in Houston. 1 out away from sweeping this series, with other clubs falling further behind in the NL Central.
And that's the feeling you have if you're the Brewers coming into a series like this against the last place club. You're thinking, we've got to take care of business here. Don't be happy with winning a series. Let's go in and try to win every game. I mean, you try to win every game every night anyway, but there you go.
Yeah. Corcoran got the hit. After the 3 strikeouts, he singles to center field. Bogusevic will bat.
It's better than getting a single your first at bat and then punching out 3 times in a row.
True.
Now you can convince yourself that you're on a roll now.
Yeah, you can spin it a positive way. Bogusevic delivered a pinch single in the 8th inning and came around to score. John Lennon of Washington still has that shutout going. 2-0 bottom of the 7th in Colorado. Corcoran easily goes to second base without a play on him. And the pitch is ball 1. Fielder's indifference. Angels leading Seattle. It's 1-0 in the bottom of the 6th inning. And Mark Trumbo has hit his 22nd homer.
You get a shot of Prince down there shrugging on that fielder's indifference?
No.
As if Carlos asked him, can I go? I don't care. Go ahead. I'm indifferent.
Peel goes to third. Yeah, he swung. And it's a 1-1 count. Confirmed by Gary Cederstrom. Cincinnati 8, the Cubs 7, top of the 8th.
It's a look of indifference right there.
Yeah, it is. Fielder's indifference. This one gets by, and now Corcoran will trot over to third base on a wild pitch.
McCroy there in a 7-3 ball game, not employing the best techniques. He's just trying to pick that on the backhand side instead of blocking it. He got beaten up a little bit here this weekend. He's had to deal with a lot of pitches in the dirt.
Cardinals are scoring in the top of the 7th inning, 3 runs home to take a 7-4 lead over the Marlins. Swing and a miss, and that's the way it ends with a Milwaukee sweep of this 3-game series at Minute Maid Park. The Brewers have won 11 of 12, and their lead continues to grow in the NL Central. Final score 7-3 Brewers.